Hey, brothers and sisters, friends, Romans, countrymen, no, all those who watch my videos, hey, welcome. I don't know what you want to call yourselves, but, so, over the last couple days, I've had a little bit of inspiration about what I should speak about, or not speak about, but what I should be posting about. So I'm going to start with a short little video about magic in the gospel. What is magic in the gospel? Yeah, I mean, magic, gospel, what? No, they don't seem to go together, right? I think the vast majority of the time when people talk about that is they're referring to the wondrous and miraculous things, and whether or not we get, whether or not they're talked about, whether or not they're focused on. For the most part, in today's society, not so much. They kind of, oh, well, we can't talk about that stuff. It's not accepted mainstream. We're talking about, like, the miracles that were performed by Moses in the wilderness. Stuff mentioned in Deuteronomy 11:13, where they talk about how he split the Red Sea, how whole peoples fell to the Israelites, who were not warriors by any means, merely because that's what God wanted. We're talking about the miracles of Jesus. We're talking about seer stones and about the use of priestly power for healing. So we're talking about for when it comes to healing, we're talking about things like Acts 19:11 or Mark 9 verses 39. We're talking about 1 Corinthians 12 verses 10 and 29. Let me pull some of these up here. So I can read a few of them for you. We're talking about things like this right here. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. That's wondrous. That's beautiful. That's marvelous. That's, some people would call magic. Sounds like a scene out of a Harry Potter book. But that's the priesthood power of God. You got things like, and he turned. So the waters were healed unto this day, according to the sayings of Elisha, which he spake. And he went up from thence unto Bethel. And he was going up by the way, And there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. And he turned back and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. If you want to curse and assault a prophet of God, best watch out, because... And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the woods, and tear 42 children of them. In other words, they smacked them around. It doesn't say they killed them. It says they tear them. That means that they wounded them. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel. To Mount Carmel. And from thence he returned to Samaria. Things like that. We're talking about, when I say healings, we're talking about things like Matthew. Chapter 12. Verses 13. When a man with with a withered hand came before him, and he said to the Pharisees, What man shall there be among you that shall have 1 sheep, and if it fall in a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath day. Then he saith to the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole, like the other. Or like Matthew 4:23. This is one of my favorite miracles of Christ, because it's a multiple miracle. Is it 4:23? No, I believe it's 8:3. Yeah, it's 8:3. This is the one. And when he came down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. And behold, there came a leper, and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. And Jesus put forth his hand, and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus saith unto him, See thou, tell no man, but go thy way, shew thyself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. In other words, keep this between us, because I just healed you, because I'm me. I don't want other people getting all upset. And when Jesus entered Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, so a Roman, beseeching him, and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home, sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. And Jesus saith unto him, I will come and heal him. So Christ volunteers to come and heal a man who has palsy. And the centurion says, I'm not worthy of that. Don't come under my roof, because you're so great. But if you say that he's healed, he'll be healed. And Christ testifies that the house of Judah and the house of Israel are not the only houses. And they can be gathered in. All houses will be gathered in together. Right? And so then he looks at him and goes, go. It says you believe. So, and then Jesus goes immediately to Peter's house. And when he gets to Peter's house, Peter's mother-in-law is sick. And Christ just touches her and she's healed. Right? So we see Jesus just performing all these miracles, right? Well, but then in Mark, we see other people doing it too. In Mark chapter 9, verse 39, it's actually verses 37 through 39. Which says, whoso shall receive one such children in my name receiveth me, and whosoever shall receive me receiveth not me. Receiveth not me, but him who sent me. So, right? And John said, Master, we saw one casting out devils in your name. But he doesn't follow you. He doesn't follow us. But he was doing it in your name. And we told him not to do that. And Christ goes, whoa, 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 whoa. You saw a man performing miracles in my name. You told him to stop? He was performing miracles in my name. My name. Let him be. Leave him alone. Right? And then we see the same things in Acts. Other people performing miracles, healings, and right, yeah, Peter and John perform a healing, and the Pharisees go, whoa, 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 wait a second, you're not allowed to do that. Don't remember if it's I wrote down a bunch of scriptures so I could take snippets out of each one, or so that I could pick and choose which ones I read. Okay. So we see Peter and John. And now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, and perceived they were ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them, that they had been with Jesus. And beholding the man which was healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it. But when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they conferred among themselves, saying, "What shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it." So, the high priests of the Pharisees want to hurt Peter and John because they performed a healing. Wondrous, miraculous, beautiful stuff, right? And yet, not so beautiful. Because people wanted to hurt them for it. We see Nephi build a ship without ever having foreknowledge of how to build a ship, being directed by God. In modern days, we see Joseph Smith take people's hands and heal them. In my own life, I have seen a miraculous healing. I've seen a couple of them where the person was stricken to the point where they couldn't rise from their bed. And immediately after the blessing, they were able to stand. And walk. Within a few minutes, it had been as if they had never even been sick. We talk about miracles and the beauty of things. Visions. We are told in the scriptures that all people are able to see God. We're all able to see the face of God, if we but submit to His will. We're all able to see our Savior and Redeemer, if we but learn to humble ourselves to perform their wills, so that we can see their face. Right? We understand this. We know this with the depth of our souls. And yet, people act like there's no miracles. One of the biggest criticisms of the church is that Joseph Smith used a stone and a hat to translate the scriptures. Yes, for a large portion of it he did. He did also use the Urim and Thummim. He did also use all these other things. Right? Like, seer stones have been used since the beginning of time. We know Melchizedek had seer stones. We know Moses had seer stones. We know that Aaron, his brother, had seer stones. In Exodus chapter 28, verse 30, Aaron is told to take the Urim and the Thummim and put them in the bow and put them on the breastplate of the robes of the priests for the tabernacle and the temple. Right? Give them seer stone. Give the seer stones to the highest priest. Time it was Moses. Like, seer stones have been around literally forever. So why would they go anywhere? And since only seers can use them, again, why would it surprise anyone that a person born to be a seer would be able to use a seer stone before he found the Book of Mormon? Before he was told where it was and began translations. Why would that surprise anyone? Did Joseph Smith ever find gold with a seer stone? No. But was it common practice for people to try? Yeah. Were most people able to see through a seer stone or into a seer stone? No. Was Joseph Smith? Yes. And there are lots of confirmation points where people are like, well, I lost this. And Joseph Smith picks up the seer stone and goes, it's right here. There's a story of Martin Harris where Martin Harris has literally lost a needle in a haystack. He was sewing in his barn. He was sewing his saddle and he dropped the needle into a haystack. And Joseph Smith, at the time, was a 13-year-old boy walking past. He had just been working on the land where he had been using a seer stone to look for treasure because that's what he was paid to do. And everybody knows finding treasure would be a little nice, right? But he was paid to look for treasure on the land before the plow. And he lifts the seer stone to his eye. Not like this. Like this. He looks at it. Reaches into the haystack, grabs the needle, and hands it to Martin Harris. Martin Harris is his neighbor. A much older neighbor. But Martin Harris knew that Joseph Smith could do these things before he started translating the freaking Book of Mormon. Like, this wasn't some stupid thing. The seer stones still exist. And they are in possession of the leadership of the church. Specifically, if you're not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, it's their leadership. If you're outside of that church, when I say the church, I am referring literally to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Christ's church restored upon this earth. Now, does that mean other Christians do not have valid capabilities to perform miracles? No. I have seen prayer from people who are not members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints perform miracles. I have seen faith healers heal people, and they weren't members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They were good Christian people who all they wanted to do was serve Christ. They didn't care about money. They didn't care about anything. I've seen it happen. It doesn't happen often. So then, what do people say nowadays that discounts miracles? I've heard people say that Jesus didn't perform any miracles. He was just a healer. He'd go to people and he'd treat them for disease, and then he'd move on. And he had technology from the East, so he was able to heal people faster than if he was using the technology from Jerusalem at the time. No, the things it speaks about are miraculous, instantaneous healings. Not, oh, let me care for you for a few weeks. Oh, there, you're all better. Some of these ailments are lifelong ailments, and they are cured instantaneously as soon as he speaks the words. People will say that there can be no miracles, for there is no God. Well, if you don't have faith, there's not going to be any miracles around you. Because miracles are caused by faith, not the miracle causing the faith. If you're waiting for a miracle to cause your faith, you're going to be waiting for a long time. A very long time. Because if a miracle is what causes your faith, then I got news for you. If you see a miracle, it's not faith. It's knowledge that that miracle can happen. And as soon as something comes along to pick at that knowledge, you still know that that can happen. But why did it happen? Well, maybe because of this. It's science. Science will explain it. It's not God. It was science. And that's the issue. Without faith, no miracle can happen. And if you witness a miracle that happens because of faith, you won't think it was because of faith. You'll think it's because of science or because of this, that, or the other. No miracle can happen without faith. And if you don't have faith, a miracle is never going to happen to you. That's all there is. I know that if we each have faith, enough, and when I say enough faith, it's not a lot. If we have unshakable faith that miracles can happen, we will see more and more miracles happen in this world. So let's band together as fellow Christians, as brothers and sisters, as children of God, in our faith that we are children of God. Let's band together in that, so that we can see more miracles happen. And let's recognize that miracles do happen, even today. And let's don't hide them or shut them away. And if it's a private miracle, sure. But if it's something that everyone needs to know about, let's profoundly say, that's miraculous. And that's what we'll do. I love you, brothers and sisters, friends, all those watching these videos, if anyone watches these videos. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. And stay safe.